Hi, Summer. Let me know when you can hear me.
Uh, I
Hi,
can
I
hear
can
you.
hear you
Hi.
now. Perfect. Sorry, I didn't confirm with Jody earlier. I was in another session then. How are you
It's okay.
today?
Good. How are you?
Doing good. Alrighty. Well, I hope you had a good holiday season. We haven't seen each other for just a little bit. I know it was a little bit of a different schedule there for a little bit. So
Hmm.
I hope you had a good start to the year, the new year. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
And so as we are starting out with this new year, I'm just wondering if you have any thoughts on what you would like to focus on, or if you have particular goals kind of starting into this new year.
Uh, hmm. I think maybe I want to focus on like a bit more dramatic scenes, like back and
Sure.
forths.
Yeah, okay, more dramatic, and scenes that go with two different characters.
Hmm.
Do you want to work today more on I think it's important to be able to do both, the reacting off of other people, because sometimes you'll be in your own vocal booths and like on separate mics, and then other times they'll have where you'll just be by yourself. So I think being able to do back and forth with another person, being able to play both characters, because sometimes they'll have you do that, and then also being able to play one character without another person. All of those could be scenarios that you find yourself in.
Hmm.
So I actually think that being able to do all of those options is a really good like practice and a good way to have your skills because
Hmm.
a lot of the time you'll have all of those, different things. So, as possibilities of options. So you said you wanted more dramatic, so less comedic, more drama. Um, so yeah, so do you have any thoughts like on dramatic actors? I'm curious that you feel like that they do a really nice job with those dramatic scenes.
Not that I can think of now.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, so I just wondered if you had any in particular in mind. Um, yeah, so yeah, thinking about dramatic actors, so like really having emotional depth with like sadness, anger, joy, fear, like really convincingly, versatility, really being able to embody a character, be authentic and believable. People like Meryl Streep are really well known for that. Leonardo DiCaprio, Robert De Niro is one that's really well known for dramatic roles. Maybe Denzel Washington. So those are some really well known dramatic actors that are, very well known for playing dramatic scenes and characters well. Um, so yeah, I wondered if you had any in mind that really inspire you. Okay, so I have a scene that is dramatic that we could look at. It's a little long, so it's like it's like a lot too long. So we're just gonna do part of it
Okay.
because it's a pretty long scene. But just to get us started, and then we can adjust as needed. So why don't I have you be Nora first? And then I'll play Ryan. So I'll have the first line here. So let's just do a first read through, kind of figure out the scene. I just put it into the chat for you. All right.
Okay.
We can't keep waiting.
We can and we should.
Every second we wait, it gets worse.
Every second we rush, we lose leverage.
Leverage doesn't help if everything's on fire.
Fire spreads faster when you panic.
You're not the one feeling this.
I'm feeling it. I'm just not obeying it.
That's not strength. That's suppression.
That's discipline.
People are getting hurt.
Plans fall apart when you don't. Oh, sorry.
Oh, it's okay.
People get hurt when plans fall apart.
Plans fall apart when you don't act.
Plans fall apart when you act blindly.
You always need another angle, another contingency, another excuse.
I need outcomes that last.
I need this to stop now.
You think speed equals courage.
I think hesitation equals fear.
No, it equals responsibility.
Tell that to them.
I am.
From behind a table.
From inside my head where consequences live.
Okay, all right. So, what do you think is happening here? Who do you imagine we are? What do you think is the scenario? Like, what world do we live in? What's happening in our world? So, you're sitting behind a desk and I'm not. So, I think that kind of gives us a clue there as to like what our roles might be. Clearly, we're arguing. So, what do you imagine is happening?
I imagine this is like a sort of a hero thing where they're fighting over what they should do for like people in danger, like a city or something, and
Okay.
one of them wants to act immediately while the other one wants to wait it out because they need to plan something that's more solid than just rushing in.
Okay.
But that worries one of the heroes, so he tries to convince her to hurry up, like we need to get this over with.
Mm.
And the other one is like, but if we rush into it, we're going to make it worse. We don't know what's in there, that kind of thing.
Okay. All right. So what do you imagine our relationship is and what are our roles?
I feel like how they're talking to each other, they've been either uh like acquaintances, partners, or friends for a while, and
Yeah.
they're just now having an argument about this because they don't see eye to eye for the first time.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, I was kind of thinking that maybe your character might be like above mine in some way, like like if you have different positions in an army, for instance, or like in an office where because you're at the desk and I'm like a little more like active in the community, it kind of sounds like. I was thinking that it could be like you're the president and I'm your right-hand man kind of a thing, kind of a scenario where it's like, or maybe you're like the queen and I'm your advisor kind of a thing, where it's like we are close and um, we're like interacting well together and we work together, but where it kind of felt like to me possibly that you might be more in charge. Do you see it that way?
Yeah,
If you don't, it's totally okay.
I do.
Yeah. So that was an idea that I had. And it does seem like there's a lot of tense or like conflict, in the community kind of a thing. And clearly we're trying to help. We're just trying to help in different ways. So
Mhm.
it seems like ultimately we probably have similar or the same goals. We just aren't like
Seeing eye to eye on
going
how
about
to,
yeah like how to
yeah.
approach seeing eye to eye on how to go about solving these issues that we're having
Mhm.
um so what do you think? Because you're being more cautious. Do you think that there's a reason you're being more cautious? Like you could maybe be a little bit older and have experienced things differently. It could just be a personality difference. Do you have any thoughts? Like, if you had something like Queen Amidala and Anakin, like in, Star Wars 2 or something like their approaches are very different, right? Where she wants to handle things more diplomatically and he's a little bit more like fire and brimstone, like
Hmm.
he wants to just go in and like cut everything down. Um
Yeah.
so that would be like a very extreme. I don't see our two characters as that conflicting in approach. But definitely like different personalities, different approach. Like Anakin is so frustrated that he just kind of loses it.
Hmm.
Whereas she's like trying to do things diplomatically and like handle things politically and like, approach other people and talk to them and collaborate and things. So it's just a different approach.
Hmm.
So here I don't see that we're quite at odds that much,
Hmm.
but definitely, approaching things differently, different perspectives, different approaches. Um, So, did anything stand out to you that kind of gives you insight into who your character is as a person? Like what their personality is, or what, their um, experiences, like what are kind of the clues that you picked up on, and how would you define your character based on what you know?
I feel like this character's kind of cold and closed off usually because
Okay.
they seem to be able to shut down Ryan's words for a few seconds after something they say, which
Okay.
seems like they have a big impact on him.
Okay, so clearly the relationship is such that like my character really respects your character and, really values what you say. So it's like if you say something, I take it really seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. It even says like that my character pauses multiple times throughout
hmm
there. So yeah, I definitely can see that where it's like when your character says something, my character really stops and thinks about it.
hmm
Definitely. So there's clearly a level of respect, even though I am like talking back to you and opposing your opinions and kind of fighting with you, I still clearly have respect for your character. How do you think your character feels about my character?
I think my character cares about this character because they haven't like lashed out or anything like that, but they
Mhm.
still think that their reasoning and choices are a bit like brash.
Yeah, and your character is very firm in your resolve. Um, and it does seem to me like your character is kind of reining my character in as well. So, I would think you wouldn't necessarily do that if you didn't care about the people and also about me as a character as well. So, I could definitely see that there's a mutual respect and caring for one another here. Um, so, what do you think your character's goal overall is? Like, what does your character need, or what does your character want in this moment?
Um, I think my character wants the other character to realize their point of view, I guess, or their choices
Okay,
without causing a huge fight between them.
got it. So, your goal is to like stop me from doing whatever it is that I'm wanting to do in this moment and get me to like see it a different way, and like reassess and make a different choice.
Sorry?
So would you say that you want to kind of stop me from following that impulse and like stop and think about what I'm doing and like see it a different way and make a different choice?
Yeah.
Okay, so trying to like convince me and like open my eyes to see things the way that you're seeing it and have more understanding. Um, so then, um, So how do you think your character feels coming into this scene? Like, did my character just like burst in and say, here's what's happening and here's what I'm going to do about it? And you're like, I don't think that's a wise decision. Or did you tell me some news and then I kind of overreacted to it? What do you think like led to the start of this conversation?
I feel like a mutual friend of theirs told Ryan about what they should do, and it was
Okay.
Nora's idea, but Ryan wasn't sure of that. Like he didn't know that, so he went to Nora because he knew that everybody respected Nora, and he wanted to convince her that his plan was better, but she told him that it was
Ah,
her plan.
okay. Got it. Yeah. So she's like, no, like I'm the one who wants to do that. And so that makes me be like, oh, like, and pause and rethink things.
hmm
Yeah. Okay. All right. Sure. Yeah. So when my character bursts in is like, we have to act, blah, 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 blah. How does that make your character feel in that moment when I like burst in and I'm like, we have to take action, we have to do all this, and it's like all hectic.
She probably like expected that kind of thing
Oh,
from Ryan because she's like, I know you
not
so well.
surprised. Yeah. So you were prepared for that. You were like, I was waiting for this. Like I knew this was gonna happen. And then so you're gonna try to like calm me down, get me to sort of like reassess and approach things differently. And then once you do get me, on board with that, how will your character feel then?
Sorry.
Like, will your character feel relieved? Will she just feel like very satisfied? how will she feel once you guys like finish the conversation and my character is on board?
She'll probably not relieved or satisfied. It's more like um slightly concerned that they would go that strongly with their opinions, but it's also like proud, like they tried to stand up, even though they know, like Nora knows what's best, but she's still like
Okay.
proud of Ryan for standing up against her idea.
Ah, okay, yeah. So more like a proud mentor, like a proud big sister kind of a
Yeah.
feeling. Okay. That's sweet. I like it. Nice. Awesome. So if we read through it again, what's going to be your number one like goal or approach to it? Is there anything you're going to change as you go through it this time?
I said it a bit harsh last time. I think I want to say it like more
Mm.
calmly to let them know
Okay.
that my resolve is set.
Okay, yeah. So a little less harsh, calm and collected, resolved, and more like gently persuasive, kind of a
Hmm.
little bit more like that.
Yeah.
Great. Awesome. Love it. Okay, so let's go ahead and we are going to try it again.
Okay.
We can't keep waiting.
We can and we should.
Every second we wait, it gets worse.
Every second we rush, we lose leverage.
Leverage doesn't help if everything's on fire.
Fire spreads faster when you panic.
You're not the one feeling this.
I'm feeling it. I'm just not obeying it.
That's not strength, that's suppression.
That's discipline.
People are getting hurt.
People get hurt when plans fall apart.
Plans fall apart when you don't act.
Plans fall apart when you act blindly.
You always need another angle, another contingency, another excuse.
I need outcomes that last.
I need this to stop now.
You think speed equals courage.
I think hesitation equals fear.
No, it equals responsibility.
Tell that to them
I am
from behind a table.
from inside my head where consequences live.
Nice, good. Yeah. I think there was more contrast with the characters that time, which
Hmm.
I think played really nicely. And it was almost like the more agitated my character got, the more calm your character got. Like to be like, okay, calm down. Yeah. So yeah, very nice. Clearly my character is very upset in this moment. And your character is like, I have it under control. I need you to trust me. I've thought this through. Um, and my character is just very emotional in this moment.
Yeah.
So what were some things you noticed that worked well there? What were some things that you thought I maybe would tweak that, if anything?
Um, I can't think of anything.
Okay. All right. So you really liked how that played out. Nice. Awesome. So then what do you feel like are maybe some key takeaways then from approaching a scene or a character like this?
Sorry.
If you had like key takeaways that you were going to take from working on this scene and then apply to another scene that has a similar character or a similar like dramatic situation.
Um, Characters that sound simple can still have a big impact on other characters in the scene.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah, I do feel like the lines are pretty short, but they're very succinct. There's a clear back and forth there. Um and it's like it doesn't take much as far as words in order to make a big impact is something that I think is a good takeaway from that. Nice. Awesome.
Mhm.
Okay. Why don't we try another dramatic scene as well? Maybe a little bit contrasting. This one again is pretty long, so I'm gonna cut some of it out.
Okay.
All right, awesome. So we it's about the first half of this scene. Um, all right. So Noah and Iris. I'll play Noah and I'll have you be Iris for this one. So we have
Okay.
a little bit of information about these characters. So what we know is Noah is very logical, precise, articulate, controlled, values clarity, consistency, and rational structure, uses logic as both a tool and a shield. Iris is more of an intuitive empath, attuned, perceptive, emotionally fluent, reads subtext instinctively, feels before she explains, often misunderstood as soft, but deeply grounded. Our setting is a quiet room after a difficult conversation with a third party. Um, this could be, it says, something emotionally charged has just ended. So we don't
Hmm.
know what exactly that was. So we will have to decide. All right. If you follow the sequence, the outcome is unavoidable.
You're skipping a step.
No, I'm simplifying.
You're excluding the part that hurts.
Pain isn't relevant to the conclusion.
It's relevant to the people.
Emotions complicate things.
They are the thing.
That's imprecise.
That's human.
We needed a decision, not a feeling,
You made one anyway,
based on facts.
based on fear.
That's an assumption.
It's an observation.
I don't make choices emotionally.
You make them to avoid emotion.
What would you have done differently?
I would have listened longer
To what?
to what wasn't being said,
That's unreliable.
so is ignoring it.
I can't build policy on feelings.
You can't build trust without them.
Feelings change.
So does data.
Data is verifiable. Okay, all right. So, um, what do you think is our relationship? So clearly, um, something happened, and then we're talking about this thing. It sounds like I made a decision based on like data and facts, but I was talking to somebody and they clearly were emotional. And you're telling me I should have like read the subtext more and like really listened to the person better before just making a decision, and that I like missed some important things. So what do you think like could be the scenario here? What is our relationship? Why do you feel like you need to come into this situation after the fact? I don't think you were there for the conversation I had with someone else. Um, and this is like after the fact is kind of what I'm gathering. So why do you think your character would intervene after the fact?
This kind of reminds me of a YouTube series I've seen called Sanders Sides,
Okay.
where it's a man who like plays out different parts of himself, which there's
Hmm.
anxiety, there's deceit, there's logic, creativity, emotions or morality,
Okay.
and there's like the darker side of creativity. He has all those
Mm.
characters and they all play like a different role. One's very emotional and the other one's very logical. So that's
Okay.
Logan and Patton. Logan is
Okay.
the logical one, and it feels like this is like a split kind of personality of one person.
Mm.
It's the logical side versus the emotional, and they're trying to fight with each other because
Yeah.
logistics don't work well with emotions
Okay, yeah.
because they're
Kind of
not
like almost like an
fact-based.
inside out kind of a thing where it's like the
Yeah.
different components of the same person, or like the little devil and angel on your shoulder fighting it out kind of a thing. And it's like the extreme opposites, right? And
Hmm.
then hopefully that person can kind of come to a conclusion that's a little more middle of the road, not quite as extreme. Um, so, um, yeah, I'm curious then, why do you think if both of these are part of the same person, why do you think they didn't listen to the iris component during the conversation and Iris only got a say after the conversation was over?
I think in that kind of conversation, they wanted to shut down their emotions so they couldn't
Um,
show how physically pained they were, or like emotionally
Oh,
pained.
yeah. So they had the person as a whole had consciously chosen to kind of shut that part of themselves down. But
Yeah.
then after the fact, that part of them kind of rose up and they have some self-doubt.
Hmm.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. Absolutely. Good. So what do you think is Iris's ultimate goal? Like, do you want the character to go back to the person you had this conversation with, and try again? Do you want them to apologize? Do you want them to make a different decision? Do you want them to just do things differently in the future?
I think the that Iris wants them to approach the situation with both her and Noah.
Okay. Yeah, like be more balanced and integrate the emotional part of themselves so
Yeah.
that moving forward that they don't just squish and shut that part down.
Hmm. Like allow
Yeah.
both of them to have a chance.
hmm Yeah, it's like, hey, like it's not the most beneficial to just squash that part of who you are. Like this is a valuable part of who you are. So please, like, don't silence my voice. Like, let me be a part of the process. And consider me as well. Absolutely. Okay. Great. So let's go ahead and try that again. Excuse me.
Mm. Okay.
If you follow the sequence, the outcome is unavoidable.
You're skipping a step.
No, I'm simplifying.
You're excluding the part that hurts.
Pain isn't relevant to the conclusion.
It's relevant to the people.
Emotions complicate things.
They are the things.
That's imprecise.
That's human.
We needed a decision, not a feeling,
You made one anyway,
based on facts.
based on fear.
That's an assumption.
It's an observation.
I don't make choices emotionally.
You make them to avoid emotion.
What would you have done differently?
I would have listened longer
To what?
to what wasn't being said.
That's unreliable.
So is ignoring it.
You can't build policy on feelings.
You can't build trust without them.
Feelings change.
So does data.
Data is verifiable. Nice. I definitely heard some different inflection there. What was maybe a line that you noticed you said differently or approached differently? Was there a moment in there that stood out to you that maybe you heard a little bit differently, or you were like, oh, okay, that I felt like was a little bit more important, or my perspective was different that time.
I think that I feel like I should have been more emotional, which is why I added a bit
Mm.
more change to my voice instead of just like the super calm one.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense because your character is the emotional part of the person, right? So I think that makes sense to have you be expressing and emoting a little bit more. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I heard that too. Nice. And then I felt like too, we were able to play off of each other in different ways then.
Hmm.
So I definitely felt like both of us were reacting off of each other. And so it just kind of like went to different places just because of that it was like, oh, okay, because you said this way, I'm going to say this that way. So like a little more reactive, which
Hmm.
I felt like the first time through was a little more like cut and dry, like this is our character. And so this time I thought it was a little bit more of like a conversation, like you were saying before, like working together more. And playing off of each other. So, why don't we go ahead and do this one more time? I want you to really lean into being that more emotional part of this person. Um, and I'm going to use a character inspiration. Do you have someone that you could use? Do you want to use the character from the YouTube series that you mentioned?
Yeah.
Okay, let's try it.
Okay.
If you follow the sequence, the outcome is unavoidable.
You're skipping a step.
No, I'm simplifying.
You're excluding the part that hurts.
Pain isn't relevant to the conclusion.
It's relevant to the people.
Emotions complicate things.
They are the thing.
That's imprecise.
That's human.
We needed a decision, not a feeling,
You made one anyway,
based on facts.
based on fear.
That's an assumption.
It's an observation.
I don't make choices emotionally.
You make them to avoid emotion.
What would you have done differently?
I would have listened longer
To what?
to what wasn't being said.
That's unreliable.
So is ignoring it.
You can't build policy on feelings.
You can't build trust without them.
Feelings change.
So does data.
Data is verifiable. Okay, nice. Awesome. So, how did you feel like your character changed that time through?
Seemed more playful and more responsive.
I did notice that. Yeah, like a little more playful. Yeah, it was a little more fun. And like teasing at points. Yeah, so that I think that was a really good exercise because it kind of shook us up a little bit. So it even though it is a more serious conversation, like it feels a little bit more whimsical at moments, right?
Mhm.
Um, and I think that even with drama, we can't really just stay heavy all the time. There have to be moments of lightness in there. Like even at a funeral, people will like, laugh because they're telling a story about the person, and it's like there are funny, humorous moments in the past or whatever. And so I think that's good that you have the ability to show some of that.
Mhm.
Yeah, very nice. Awesome. So what would you say is maybe the number one takeaway or the thing you learned most from that scene that you would want to carry into a future scene?
Uh, don't always base the character off of like their description.
Mm. Yeah, that you might bring something unique to that character that maybe isn't there in the description, but your
Mhm.
experience, your perspective, your personality can kind of add to that character, something that hasn't been stated to you. So being willing to explore a little bit more. I love that. Yeah, bringing more of yourself to it. Beautiful. Love that. I would love for you to hang on to that and try to incorporate that in future scenes that we do too.
Okay.
Awesome. Beautiful work today, Summer.
Thank you.
This was fun. All right, so let's go ahead and keep trying to work on some more dramatic scenes in the future. So in the next couple weeks when we meet again, and and we'll try to work in like different scenarios, different characters. I really liked having these really contrasting characters. I feel like that's something we've been doing, so I wanted to bring some of that more into what we're doing right now. Because I think it just kind of helps us to have a really clear vision of who the character is, and then also play off of each other. So I'd love to keep doing some of that as we continue as well. Okay.
Hmm.
Awesome. All right. So be kind of brainstorming if there's anything you would like to specifically work on next time. I'll also have some options as well when we come back in 2 weeks. And I look forward to seeing you then.
Okay.
All right. Bye, Summer. Have a great
Bye.
evening.
You too.